guys, Miss Penman here, and I'm here to share with you your lesson for ELA for January 8th, 2021. It's Friday, woo! So here we have a writer's warm-up for you. We always start with a writer's warm-up just to activate our brains a little bit. And I wanted to just do a little bit of an inspo for you for after COVID-19 with regards to travel. So you know that I'm into traveling. I know many of you are into traveling or seeing new places and things and experiencing new places and things. So I just wrote this little blurb and I want you to respond on the second slide, which I've linked here. So COVID-19 has changed so much for us. Travel or the lack of travel is an example of this. So on the next slide, respond by outlining your dream trip in list or paragraph form. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you bring with you? The sky's the limit. Be detailed and thorough in your response. So again, you're responding here and it's linked on that slide. And I just copied and pasted the instructions that I had on that slide here so that you have it handy and you know how to respond. And of course, you can respond freely and go outside of the questions that I'm asking. Please make sure to write it in about 5 to 7 sentences. I thought this little guitar playing kitty was pretty cute, and we're on to metaphor. So the snow is a white blanket. A little different than simile because it doesn't say the snow is as white as a blanket. And it also doesn't say the snow is like a white blanket. So it's a little bit different. It just says the snow is the blanket. Levi's eyes were ice. Okay, so that means that he had some really cold eyes, some really icy stares. So again, this is different from simile. It does not use like or as. It just says Levi's eyes were literally ice. But they're, of course, just comparing the two things because they weren't literally ice. Nicole's life is a roller coaster, meaning it has lots of ups and downs. The children were flowers grown in concrete gardens. Which brings me to Tupac Shakur's poem. So those of you who don't know Tupac, he's actually a famous rapper, and he was a poet and a writer as well. So did you hear about the rose that grew from a crack in the concrete? Proving nature's law is wrong, it learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe the fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete where no one else ever cared. So that is a big metaphor, and it's talking about a person who was living in, less than desirable conditions or had a lot against them, but still was a rose that grew from that hard place. Okay. Metaphor. Chelsea is a blank in science class. Chelsea is a wizard in science class, right? Am I literally a wizard? No, I'm not, but I can be like one. Although that's more like in LA or social than science. Sorry, Mr. Kerwin and Miss McLeod. Shelby blank with creativity. Shelby overflows with creativity. So add the notes to the notes doc. Please, again, I can't stress this enough, make sure that all of your notes are making it on that doc. It's going to make it so much easier for study time with your unit test for poetry coming up fast. Okay, so a metaphor is when you compare two things without using like or as. Okay, so here's another example that you can read through for metaphor. There's quite a few metaphors in there, so I want to see if you can identify them. It's basically just like an activity for you to, again, warm up your brain. I put this on the simile lesson as well, so just pointing out the differences between simile and metaphor. The simile is using as to compare the child to the bear, whereas the metaphor just simply says the child was a bear, straight up. Okay, so you're going to create a list of foods that you eat before, so especially foods that might represent you culturally. For example, I am Scottish, so I might say haggis. Haggis is a traditional Scottish dish. You can look it up online. It's kind of gross, though. But you can include breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, treats. If you don't have any idea about foods from your cultural background, you can Google it, you can do some research, or you can just leave it as foods that you eat currently, and then move to the next slide for the next activity in the next instruction. So you're making a metaphorical poem, and you are going to be creating you into everything you eat. through metaphor. So what you'll be doing is you'll be saying things like, my face is greasy fried okra is what this person says. My face is smooth as milk. That's actually a simile. My face is milk, chocolate. My hair is spaghetti squash. My soul is Thai curry, right? So you're going to go down and make a poem comparing yourself to the food you eat that you put on the slide previously. Okay. So use this slide to make your metaphorical poem. You can flip back to slide 15 if you need. And then, of course, you need to use any extra time that you have for reading and then use the turn in button to turn in your work. Thank you guys so much for being here and listening to this video. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.